Hey everyone, welcome to this Facebook Live. How to say no. This is Bess McCarty, coach for network marketers and business and life, and also called the Shrink of MLM. Coming to bring you this video column every Saturday and Sunday at noon Eastern Time, where you can ask a question. It's called Ask Bess, patterned after the Ann Landers newspaper column, where people can ask questions. And she discovered that people really wanted to be heard. That was real important to him. Welcome, Shamala. How are you today? Gosh, what's it like in South Africa today? It's finally a little bit sunny here. Very nice. And thank you for the likes and loves. And if y'all are watching the replay, please type that in because I'd like to thank you for that. And welcome, Jerry, and welcome, Julie. Glad to see you guys. It's a fall day, isn't it? What's the season in South Africa? Shamala, is it a different season than we have here in the U.S.? It's fall here. So this video column is inspired to allow you to ask questions of a coach for business and life. For 35 years, I've been a body-mind therapist, a holistic health practitioner, and helped hundreds and hundreds of people to have better lives and even breakthroughs in their relationships, health, wealth. So this is where you can ask questions about network marketing, about job, about a career, about health issues, about weight loss, relationships, communication, spiritual life fulfillment, any of these things. So everything's open. Oh, groovy. Thank you. You like that? I kind of have fun. She likes my necklace and everything. I have fun with clothes. It's one of my arts, one of my things that I enjoy playing with. So this is where I get to play with it. It's kind of fun. Okay, so you can ask a question, ask Bess. You can private message me and say, I want this to be anonymous and bring this to the call, or you can write in a question here or on one of my posts. But this is where you can ask. And my message to you is, you matter. I hear you. Every problem has a solution, and I'll respond to you. You don't have to be in this alone. You are bigger than any problem before you. And the solution usually is not as far as we think. So that is my purpose and message of this show here. What I want to do today is cover the topic that came in. The question that came in was, how do I say no to people? I'm just a people pleaser. I can't say no. I end up saying things I don't want to say or doing things that I don't want to do. Welcome, Carrie. Glad to see you. So not everybody has that problem. You know, some people are great, they're fine. But even if you're fine, you may know people who have this challenge or this problem, and it would be cool to tag them or share the video with them. Some people are even sharing this right now as we speak in a Facebook group where other people could benefit from it too. So I do appreciate if you do that. Let me know, because I want to thank you for that too. It helps us to think beyond ourselves, right? To take a step out and share this with other people too. So this question, this person is about, how do I say no? A lot of times we were raised not able to say no. We got punished for that, or got punished for being angry, because maybe the parents were raised that way too, because they want to be in control, in charge, and be able to direct the situation, or don't have time to sit down and explain or negotiate with you. So parents a lot of times just taught us that we can't say no. And then can become people pleasers. Welcome, Travis, and welcome, Ronald. Glad to see everybody. Thank you for being here. If you like personal growth, please type in yes, because you're in the right place. That's what these are about. Every Saturday and Sunday I come to you noon Eastern Time here for the Ask Bess video call on Facebook Live. So I love to celebrate all of us who love personal growth, because it's not an easy thing. You guys are my heroes. You're my inspiration many times. And we can do it together, right? We can face ourselves, we can grow. That's a courageous person, I think. So please type in yes. I'd like to acknowledge you for that. So if we find, some of you don't have this problem, but if you find that you're not able to say your truth to somebody because you're kind of scared to, You weren't allowed to. You weren't able to say your truth. Or you think that there's only two alternatives, my needs or your needs. It has to be one or the other that you have to sacrifice. Well, that's not actually true. There is a world, and there's a communication system, and there is a method where you can have both. You can have your needs met and the other needs met. In fact, I think that's the best relationship, is when you work to find a common solution so that nobody's needs have to be sacrificed. Then you talk that out and you work that out. I heard recently a cool thing about couples, that they can learn to fight properly. And the way to fight properly is together against the problem, not against each other. To remember that you're on the same team. But a lot of times people think that they need to oppose the person, or that everybody's needs can't be met, so it has to be my needs or their needs. And so I either have to be selfish or I have to completely negate myself, like it's black and white. Well, there isn't. There is something happily in between. That then I'll show you how to negotiate that and talk to that. Hey Jeff, how are you doing? Hope you're having fun. Are you and Brandy at the convention? And I wait to hear stories. I want to hear stories. What happened? So Jeff and I teach together in our school for network marketers, the MLM Millionaire Academy, and tomorrow night is their Sunday night class. And I will post a link to that for people who are interested in upgrading their skills and their network marketing business. So Jeff and I also teach a leadership show Monday through Friday, noon Eastern time, right here on his or my page, Facebook Live, with John Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So a lot of you hop on that. We're glad to see it at that same time as this, actually, noon Eastern time. So welcome, Ashley. Glad to see you. So right now we're talking about how to say no to people when you might have a trouble doing it, when you don't know how to do it, when it sounds like you're being selfish, or you really feel for the person. But the way that this is taught from childhood is we weren't allowed to. My parents would call this talking back. Like if you didn't always agree or go with what they wanted you to do, they called that talking back. So you had to be super compliant so as not to rock the boat or not get punished. Still, other people have kind of an outer directed focus where they don't know what they feel or need because there were so many fires to put out in the family. There was so much trauma and drama going on, and everybody else had greater needs. Like the parents maybe had some dysfunctional things going on, or weren't, nobody ever helped them to be functional, or had the coaching or counseling. So perhaps they were dysfunctional, and the child learns to keep the tension focused outward, see how they can calm mom down or make her happy again, or try to bring peace to the family so that it doesn't disrupt. And that's so when that happens in child, and I'm an inner child therapist, inner child practitioner, when that happens in a family, the children often are not cued into or familiar with what they're feeling or needing at a time. Especially when we say, oh, you don't feel that, oh, you're not lonely, you're not sad, or smile, when they don't feel like smiling, or you're not hungry. So the child says, okay, I thought I was, and learn to put aside their own feelings and needs in lieu of somebody else's authority or somebody else's needs that seem to be greater. Got to take care of mom or got to take care of dad. So we learn to put our own feelings and needs aside. And I know when I was young, it wasn't cool to express anger. And what mom would just say, don't be angry. Maybe, I punched my sister, something like that. She goes, well, don't hit your sister or stop that. But she did not give me an outlet for my anger. Like, here, you want to punch something? Punch this pillow. So I learned when my son grew up, he was angry or wanted to, hit something or break something. I said, here's a big piece of cardboard. Here's a big cardboard box. Rip it up and throw it all over the room. We just, together I helped him. We'd rip up this cardboard box and throw it all over the place. And then we end up laughing because it's so funny, the big old mess that we made. And then we cleaned it up together. But he got his anger out in a healthy way. I did not say, do not be angry. So a lot of times, though, many of us heard when we were young, well, don't be angry. Don't be sad. Don't cry. You're a boy. Be big. Don't cry. Don't want attention. And so we learn to hold down those feelings. So what we want to do, like in the case if I punched my sister, I'm not sure, probably at some point I did, I don't remember for sure, but the helpful thing that a mother could say at that point might be um, to direct the behavior, not to stifle the emotion, but to direct it into a safe behavior, like punching the pillow or ripping up cardboard instead of taking it out on a person, my sister. So we need to, parents could help their children by separating their emotions and their value from the behavior. Instead of "you are a bad boy," that behavior hitting your sister is bad, and I want you to stop that and hit the pillow instead. But your anger's not bad if it's directed properly. It's the behavior that's connected with it, right? Is good or bad. But the child is not bad ever, and emotions are not bad in themselves ever. It's what we do with them. So what this ends up looking like in adult life, when the child does not heal that and carries that into adult life, is that they end up not being able to say no to somebody that says, "Oh, would you volunteer over here or there?" And the person should be building their network marketing business, but they can't say no to them. Or a friend comes over and hangs around and talks too long, and so that person does not get their chores done or their business built. It interferes with getting their own needs done, and they don't know how to say no or how to curtail that. Will you help me move? When maybe you have a sore knee and it will hurt you, but you can't say no because that's your friend and they need you to help move. So welcome Marty, glad to see you. I have a few ways around that myself. I did injure my knees with doing too many exercises a little while back, so when my niece was moving, I said, "I will help with your 4 kids so that you can do, I will help pack and tape and all that stuff, but I won't lift or carry things. That's what I can do." I had my boundaries. I had my limits of what I can do. And if a friend asks me to volunteer when I know I should be working on my business, I might say, "Well, I would love to help, but I have to work." Even if it's your own business. If it was a job, right, people would, and you said, "I have to work," they understand. But since you're at home or you can manage your own time, they think that then you can give more than the person who has a job. That may or may not be true. But one way that I encourage people who have a business at home, or are entrepreneurs working from home or working on a business who have flexible hours, is still to stick with a certain schedule that they set for themselves. Even though they don't have to clock in, they can still say, "I would love to help with this worthy cause. I wish that I could today, but I have to work." And often people can recognize that from job lingo, job talk. So don't give away more than you, don't take away from your family. Don't take food from the table for your family and give it away in money if somebody needs some money. Take care of your family first. That's your responsibility. And likewise, take care of yourself first. Take care of your health, your exercise, your sleep, and then give beyond that. There are cases when, I will sacrifice sleep or other things for something very important to me. I will push some of my work aside temporarily, like when my niece moved. There was 2 weeks when I helped her a lot, like when her twins came. There was 2 weeks when I came in at 6 a.m. and helped with the twins when her husband's leave was over and he had to go back to work, and she needed help with new twins and had 2 other boys too. So she absolutely needed help. I just pushed my stuff aside temporarily for that. I was the only one in the family who was an entrepreneur, worked for myself. I could do that. And when my mother needed help before she passed away, I was the only one in the family that could sit beside her bed and do some work on my computer and step in and out of her room, but I could mostly be there. So there's times when, I definitely will sacrifice, but not for long term. And know what that is, and recognize, is the price to me too great? Maybe I need to say no to my friend who wants to talk all the time, or set a limit. Say, I can talk with you 15 minutes a week or 30 minutes a week, but not 2 hours a day. That prevents me from doing the work that I know I should be doing, or helping other people, or building my business to pay our bills. So there's a story of a lighthouse keeper. He had a certain amount of oil that he was delivered to him every month to use to put in the lighthouse to help the ships to avoid crashing on the rocks. This saved lives. Sometimes people would come, like a mother would come and say, well, I need some oil to warm my children. We don't have any heat in our house. Can I have a little bit of your oil? And he would give some to the mother. Or an elderly person would come and say, can I have some of the oil to heat my house? And he would give some of this away. But one time he found that he gave too much away, and he did not have enough oil to keep the light lit, and the storm did come, and a ship did crash on the rocks. So he realized that his first priority and job was to save lives this way and not give it to the immediate need, the immediate urgency of these people. Right? There was no storm going on that day when the people came and said, hey, can I have some oil for heat? There was no storm going on. So it looked like that was the immediate need. So he said yes, gave to them because he wanted to, and he had a big heart and everything. So, but it prevented him from his main responsibility, which you could equate, if you're an entrepreneur in network marketing, that would be building your business and taking care of your family so that they don't crash, right? So keep our priorities straight. Here's how to practice saying no. John Bradshaw, an inner child teacher, which I am also, he recommended practice saying no to yourself first. Alone, when you're alone, just practice saying no. I don't want to do that. No, I choose not to do that. No, thank you. And then he said practice with a friend. People that aren't used to saying this or, have a hard time with that. Practice saying it with a friend. Say no to a friend. And then finally practice in real life. Find a situation when you would really like to say no, but you would be tempted in the past to say yes, and practice saying no to that person. Now, I do have some tips about how to say no in a kind way that leaves everybody feeling good. I call it, or it is called, compassionate communication, developed by Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. And he said there's 4 steps to that communication. You say what you observe, what you feel, what you need, and what you request. And that could look like, Martha, when you ask me to help you move, I really want to because you're my good friend and you have helped me in the past. So I have this conflict within myself because I have injured my leg, and the doctor says I need to elevate it and keep it raised until it heals. So I should not even be standing or walking on it. May I then you put out that's what you need, and then you can put out a request or a solution that you might have to that problem. May I ask a friend who has a truck if they're able to help you move? So you could think of a solution for that person if you want to. Or if they're not a close friend, you could just leave it simply at the beginning ones. Gee, I'd love to help you. I see that you need help. I wish that I could. However, I have this injured leg and I'm going to have to pass. So you could just leave it at that. That is called compassionate communication. It takes into account your needs and the other person's needs, and you recognize it, and you state the what the objective thing that you observe without any judgments, and you state your feelings and you state your needs, and you can even state a request without. This eliminates judgment, blame, demands, criticism, and all the stuff that are toxic to communication. Now tomorrow I'm going to come back on and teach a little bit more about this compassionate communication. I'm going to bring my puppets back, and we're going to do some compassionate communication dialogues so that people can learn, so that you can have some tools in your pocket for when you need to say something difficult or challenging. You don't know quite how to say it. This is a method that is based on observation, feelings, needs, and requests, and eliminates criticism, judgment, demands, blaming. It eliminates all that toxic stuff that puts people on defense and allows them to hear each other, to hear and understand each other. It's really a cool system that I learned a long time ago from him. So I'll come back on and teach that tomorrow. Also, every time I come on here, I like to teach that 4-step process of self-help. It's very similar to the compassionate communication 4-step process. But the 4-step process for helping ourselves through any difficult situation. For example, I can't say no if I can't say no to somebody, or I let my friend talk my ear off for 2 hours when I should have been, cleaning the house or something like that. If I can't say no, then I look and see what the feeling, frustrated or guilty, or guilty that I didn't get done what I did, or frustrated because I can't say I don't see there's room for my needs here in this conversation. And so the need would be the need to learn to set boundaries. And the solution would be to use one of the methods that you heard today of speaking, like, I wish I could, but sorry that I can't. Or I need to work. It would be using one of the methods that would be the solution, using one of the methods that I mentioned. So I call this 4-part process real conversations with ourselves, because we have to be honest with ourselves. And that we can find a solution to any problem in minutes. I've actually created a chart for this of free tools for you, and an audio and some email lessons to help you journal yourself through the 4 steps and solve any problem in minutes that you might run across. And I will post the link to that below. It's called The Real Conversations. There's free tools. And for people who want more help than that, I've created a class called the Real Conversations class. It's going on right now. It's every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 90 minutes. People come on that class. It is not recorded, confidential to that group, and you can even come on anonymously. And you can get coached on anything that you want to. Maybe you feel stuck in the Real Conversations process, or you'd like to be coached in anything: health, wealth, love, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So people come on, and they either get coached or they listen and learn from the people who are getting coached. Everybody learns from everybody, because we're all human and have some of what that person, to small or large degree, have some of what that person who's works on. I learn from everybody that I coach, and take that away and say, well, okay, now how do I have a little bit of this in myself? And let me upgrade myself here. Let me clear out whatever negative fears or beliefs that I just coached this person. Let me take a look at myself and upgrade myself as well. So that's what I get out of every single person who goes. And other people listen. Other people want to be coached live at the moment. It's kind of like a reality show. It's really alive and very, very good. So I invite you to either one, the free tools or the class, and I'll post the link for both below. Let's see, who has a question? Who has a comment? Did you have a favorite takeaway so far that you heard? Who knows a friend that you might want to tag that could enjoy hearing this or get benefit, or you could share it. I'd love if you shared it. Who got benefit today? I'd love to hear some. I'd like to see some likes or yes, just to let me know that you're out there. Okay, I think that covers everything for now. I'll be back tomorrow at noon Eastern Time for the Ask Bess every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern Time. Tomorrow I'm going to bring the puppets in. We're going to demonstrate compassionate communication for you. This is a communication system that has saved my life. For about 30 years now, I've been using it. It has helped me to be a good partner with my ex-husband as we parented our son as he grew up, and now as we're grandparents together. So we use this system to create peace and harmony in the family and demonstrate that to our son. It helps with business challenges, how to diplomatically not burn any bridges and to keep friendships. It helps in families, helps in all communication. Some people say that communication is the base of every problem. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful art. So welcome you back tomorrow, and we'll cover that. And thank you, Shamala. Thank you kindly. Thank you, everybody, for being on. Let's keep the conversation going. Love to hear your tips, your insights, your thoughts, your reactions to anything I've spoken about today. If you can relate to it, please let me know that. I sure can from my childhood. So thank you all for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow, and have a happy Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.